Hey y'all, my name is Sharon Armstrong. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 1997. I absolutely love playing with stamps, paper, and ink, and I love teaching everybody how to do what I do. I did a Facebook Live and I had so much fun with this cute card. You're gonna have to watch this video, but I also wanna remind you to stay tuned to the end because I'm gonna give you instructions how to get a downloadable PDF so that you can make one too. Hey y'all, it's Sharon. It's Thursday, live with Sharon, and man, you're gonna love this card. You are gonna love this card. My friend Cindy sent me a picture of a card that she made yesterday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to make that card. So I did, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. So I'm just doing a little refresh on my Facebook page, see if I'm on. Okay, I'm good. All right, so I hope that it's nice and warm where you guys are because it's been a little chilly here in southern Arizona. It's kind of unusual, but it's not bad, and the sun's still shining, so that still makes it good. So do you want to see the card? There it is. And I am super excited to show it to you when I flip the camera around. Hey Fran, glad you're here. Oh Fran, you're gonna love this card, my friend. You're gonna go nuts. I can just see you making lots of these. Fran, how's the weather in Texas? You guys have had some cold and rain quite a bit, I think, right? Get this open a little bit. Okay, are y'all ready to see the card? All right, let me flip this around. Okay, so I used some designer series paper and then I also used stamps because that's what we do. But when you untie this card, you open it up. First, there's a note card, and this is all about friends. I'll show you the stamp set that I'm using in just a minute, but it's all about friends. Hey Brenda, hey Lisa. Okay, it's chilly and raining cats and dogs in Dallas. Yikes. Okay, that's not my favorite weather, Lisa. I can handle the cold and I can handle the rain, but I can't handle both of them at the same time. So yeah, lots of rain, Brenda. Okay, so this little note card, and then Life is Better with Friends, and then the card continues to open. And I think my favorite part about this card is this is truly a lot of space that you could write some very heartfelt words to somebody, like a friend. The fact that you're not limited just on one side, you can actually write. I could have left this part blank and wrote something on there as well. So I think this is truly like a letter in the mail. This isn't just a card. I mean, I think that's what appealed to me the most, okay? All right, so we're going to, let me show you everything that you need. And by the way, before I forget, I will have all of the instructions for the card and the measurements on my blog tomorrow, okay? I didn't want to post all that beforehand because I want everybody to be here live and see all the goodies. So I'm using a stamp set called Just Add Text, and that's the one that says Life is Better with Friends. I needed more verbiage than the one that came in Garden and Bloom. Garden and Bloom was all about friends, but I needed one more sentiment, so I grabbed another stamp set. So, all right, let's see if anybody else is on with me. Okay. Let's see if we need to say hello real quick to anybody else. Hey, Cindy, I see you're here. All right, so let me tell you what you're going to need. Let me move the stamps out of the way. You're going to need a piece of ribbon, and the ribbon is, I think, about 14 inches. You could make it longer if you wanted to tie it in a bow, but I just did it in a knot. So that was about 14 inches. I have the card base. Let's go backwards. The card base is 10 inches by 5.5. Then you need a piece of Whisper White that is 3.5 by 7. And you don't have to write all this down. I told you I'll put all this on my blog and have it ready for you guys. You'll need 2 pieces of Whisper White that are 4 by 5.25. 1 piece of Whisper White that is 1 3/8 by 5.25. And then our DSP, oh wait, there's another piece of white. This piece of Whisper White was 3.25 by 3.25. Piece of Designer Series paper, and I loved just being able to do some coloring on that. You could use any side you want. This is that Petal Passion DSP that I just love. I love black and white. I just think it's so pretty. This piece is 4 inches by 5.25. And then this piece was 1.25 by 5.25. And all I did was I just flipped, okay? And then I have another piece of DSP that is, let's see. This one I did 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. And then a piece of black that's 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. So, all right, let's get some stamping done. And I chose to use the Stampin' Blends to color the flowers. And I'm just gonna color a little bit today. I'm not gonna, well, who knows? We'll see how long our time goes. If you guys have any questions as I'm going along, please don't hesitate to ask. All right, so the first piece that I'm gonna stamp, this is my Whisper White and this is my front piece. So I'm just gonna put this right here so you guys can kind of keep up with what I'm doing. Now granted, I just learned this card yesterday, so if I mess up, it's not my fault. No, it's pretty simple. All right, so I've got my Friends stamp and I'm using just basic black ink and I'm gonna stamp that in the middle. And then I'm gonna take my flower stamp from the Garden in Bloom. And if you have this stamp, there is a little point right here and it's to line up. It's a 2-step stamp, so it's to line up when you are using the other piece. Both of them have that little point. And I always take that point and point it towards me. That way I can kind of make sure I'm lining it up. It's just easier to do. So I'm going to do one up here. Whoops, point that towards me. And then I'm going to ink it up in the Daffodil Delight. And this is almost like a watercolored stamp. So if I mess up, and honestly, I know y'all think I messed up when I did that, but I always go back and look at the stamp set because I'm like, oh, it is a watercolored look. I didn't mess up. And then I want, okay, so this set has a set of leaves that were stuck together, and I cut them apart because it's my stamp. I can do what I want. But I just like to be able to have more control where I put my leaves, so I just cut it apart. And then here's the smaller stamp. I'm doing the same thing. I've got the outline on one side and the solid on the other. Again, both of the little tips are pointing towards me. And I'm just gonna stamp a flower up here and do the coloring. And it's, like I said, it's a watercolor look, so you don't have to worry about if it's perfect or not. On this card, I did the big leaves, but then I was like, why didn't I use the small leaves? Who knows? So now I'm coming back in with just some small leaves. All right, that piece is stamped and ready. I'm gonna set it aside. So now I have my 2 pieces that are gonna go on the inside, okay? And my little third piece. Whoops. Let's see, you guys have any questions? Nope, I don't see anything. All right, so I'm going to just start stamping here, again with my flower up in the top corner. I think I'm prolonging showing you how to put this card together. You think I'm being mean? I'm just showing you how to stamp right now instead of showing you how to put that card together. I mean, as far as the scoring goes, I just realized usually I start off scoring a card and showing you that part, but I don't know. I think the anticipation of you guys seeing how this goes together is just worth it. Just making you wait. All right, so I'm just going to do 2 over here. And that ink I can tell is pretty wet, so I'm going to hold off before I put my color in. I'm using the archival black ink, but I can tell that it's pretty wet. So you are special. And on this one, this is 2 stamps, and I lined them up on my grid paper because this little skinny stamp is hard to get straight. So I used the grid lines on my grid paper to make sure it was lined up, and then I just plopped the block on top and picked it up. All right. Whoops, didn't quite ink that up enough. I will go back later and fix that. Sometimes I don't press my ink enough, and the photopolymer does that sometimes. So if you guys know about the new Stamparatus that's coming, that's going to be super easy to fix that with the Stamparatus. So, but I still have my Stamp-A-Majig, so I will fix it after the video. But we all know that there's 2 sides to every piece of paper that Stampin' Up! Sells, so I could just flip it over. All right, let's see here. Do my ink. And then we'll do this flower. Yeah, when Cindy sent me that card yesterday, I was like, how cute is that? Oh, and it's called a double flap fun fold. Like I told Cindy, say that 3 times fast. That's kind of hard to say. All right, so we have that stamping done. Then the next stamping we're going to do is we're going to stamp the little flowers just randomly. Again, I can tell that my ink is pretty wet. So I'm going to hold off on the yellow, and I'm going to grab my little leaves and just randomly, those look like coffee beans to me. I just realized that. I think I could use that for something else one day. They do look like little coffee beans. Okay. Just check in to see if anybody else has joined us. If you guys have any questions. All right, so we did all of that, and I kind of make sure that's good and dry. Yep, because I don't want to muddy up my yellow stamp pad, my Daffodil Delight. You know, I had some people reply back to my email this morning that they're not Facebook Live people, and they wanted to know if I was going to have this published someplace. I try to take all these videos and put them on YouTube. I kind of clean them up a little bit if there's any ways that I can do that. And then I try to put it on my blog the next day. So, all right, so we have all of our stamping done. Whoops, we need this piece done. So now let's go to our scoring. So I told you I had a piece that was 3.5 by 7. And I know you can't see my whole cutter, but I'm going to take this and line it up at 3.5, and I'm going to score it, okay? So now I have, this is my outer note card, and my stamping on that, let's go ahead and do all of our stamping. I'm going to go ahead, and I had a flower here, and I have life is better with friends, and I just could not agree with that statement anymore, especially since my friend Cindy gave me this great card idea. All right, so stamp some flowers. And the centers. Let's do the center first. Are y'all still with me? Give me some love if you like what I'm doing. Give me some hearts and thumbs up, and y'all are pretty quiet out there. All right, so that is stamped. All right, I'm going to close up my stamp pads so that I don't get my paper in them. Set that aside. And I'm done with that. All right, so on the 5.5 by 10. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, just like you would a regular card. And then I'm going to score it, let me open this up, at 8 1/2. All right, let's move this all out of the way. So now we're ready to fold on our score lines. So now you can see how that flap comes in. Where's my bone folder? Give it a good crease. All right, so now let's put our pieces together. We have this piece that's going to go on the inside. Like that. And then we have these two pieces that are going to go here. And then we have this piece. You know, this card, I feel like, I mean, I have a couple people in mind that I want to send it to because it is a friend's card, but because I want to say more to them. I think I mentioned that at the beginning, but sometimes you need to let people know how they affect your life and how you feel about them and all of that. So I don't know, this card just really touched me that would be the reason I would do this card. Anytime somebody has touched my life, I like to let them know because you know what? Life is short. All right, so real quick, I'm only going to do a few of the flowers here because I want to tell you the method to my madness. I did not color the leaves. I was going for, that is the wrong end. I love the Stampin' Blends, the alcohol markers. They do have 2 tips, and I just started coloring without looking. But I didn't want to color the leaves green. I thought about it, and I was like, no, this card is black and white and yellow, period. So I just didn't do it. How many of you guys have the Stampin' Blends? Love them. Love them. Okay. So, oh, Cindy's asking, she says she loves the stamp set that I'm using. What is the name of it? Gonna put it on my wish list. Cindy, that one is called Garden in Bloom. And then the other one is Just Add Text. Great question. Great stamp set. It's got like a bumblebee and little flowers, butterflies. Great stamp set. Lisa, not yet, on my wish list for sure. You know, Lisa, if you haven't bought the Stampin' Blends, you know, you don't have to buy the whole set. I recommend you buy like the, let's flip this around. I recommend that you buy like the yellow, the Daffodil Delight, the Old Olive, the Cherry Cobbler. In other words, buy greens, reds, yellows, because there's several colors like the Tangerine Tango. Those are close to the pumpkin pie. In other words, you could just, I think there's about 6 that you could get by with without having to buy all of them. So keep that in mind when you're looking at that. So, all right, back to the card. Brenda loves her blends. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just follow the artist's lines here. I decided I like the two-tone effect, but I didn't want too much, and my reasoning was, can you see the gray that the artist has done when they designed this paper? By the way, this paper, if you didn't know, was designed by an artist with Stampin' Up, hand-drawn, okay? So it's really kind of cool when you know the story behind some of the the papers and the stamp sets. So I'm just going to take the fatter end, or the pointed end, I guess, not the brush end, and I'm just going to blend those lines so that I get that two-tone effect, but you don't really see perfect lines. Not that I draw perfectly, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it just kind of helps blend it, because that's what they're for, blending. So I just wanted you to see kind of how I did the flowers and my reasoning behind not doing the leaves. I wanted this card to just be black and white and yellow. All right, let's get back to making the card. So here's our little outer note card. We need to decorate the outside. I see that my scoring may have been off just a little bit. Let me fix that. Okay, so the outside of our card, just go back to the sample here so you can see. Where did it go? There it is. All right, so I have the Whisper White. I'm gonna put this on, and it is a very, very skinny matting behind it. Tiny, tiny, okay? So, but love it. I mean, it gives the card more texture and more weight. Again, another little skinny border, okay? And I decided that I wanted to take some more of this paper because I loved it. On this one, I did the strapped. I'm gonna flip it over on this one, but we'll just do something different. Because on the back side, there's flowers. Teeny tiny border again. Okay, and I just realized that I forgot something. I forgot the ribbon. All right, let's see how well I put my snail on. Oh, good, I didn't put too much. All right, so I'm gonna lift that up just a little bit, and I'm gonna bring this over. I know my hand's in the way. What, 3 inches hanging out about? So you want that ribbon to go underneath your basic black layer to really hold it on, okay? That way it's under 2 layers. There's some good support there for that ribbon. All right, so back to our other card. Now I want to attach, I want to attach this piece of DSP. I was like, something's missing. There's lots of pieces to this, but it really wasn't that much to cut out and put together. But I love this card. Do you guys love this card? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, so then I decided to put, to use the tear and tape to hold my little note card on the front, because it's some extra weight and I didn't want it to fall off when the recipient opens the card. I love the tear and tape because it is very sturdy, very strong. So I did 2 strips fairly close to each other. Hey, Lori, you're here. I think I need to do a little refresh. I'm not seeing. Let's just do a little refresh on our computer here. Let's see, where are my snips? I don't see my snips. I'm going to have to grab this. I need to trim that up. All right, let's see. See if you guys have any questions. What's on your wish list, Cindy? The Stampin' Blends, maybe? Okay. All right, so I'm going to burnish this just a little bit. That helps release that backing. And I have got to get my snips. Hang on, guys. I thought I had everything right here, but I wandered off with those. I just like to use the snips to get underneath that backing. You could use paper piercer, but I didn't have that close either. But you know, when you're in your studio, you can always run and grab something, right? All right, so I figured out yesterday when I was putting this part on, I found the best way for me to do it was to just come at it straight like this. I was trying to lay it down and do it, and I wasn't getting this edge straight. So I found just coming at it straight like that was the best way. So, Lori, thank you. I'm so glad you love this card. It is so pretty too. I agree. All right, so I'm a little shy This is going to be a tight knot. So, you know, like I said, this is only the second time for me to make this card. You might want to take this ribbon, and kind of pull it out to where it's more even, but I can still tie it, so it's okay. But now I've wasted part of my ribbon. And ta-da, it's done. So now I got to trim off this little piece, but it's all okay. So guys, I hope that you loved this card like I did, and I hope that you will jump on my blog tomorrow. I'll have all the instructions for you, and I'll go back and color all these pieces too, so that this card will be ready to send out to a friend. So Lori says, what a treasured gift to get in the mail. Lori, I don't know if you were on in the beginning when I started talking about the fact that there's so much space to write heartfelt words to a friend who means so much to you was truly my favorite part of the card. I'm a firm believer, Lori, in telling people what they've done to your life, what they mean in your life, how they have affected you, because I don't think we tell each other that enough. So, Lisa, love the card. I'm so glad, Lisa. I'm so glad that you loved it. I'm telling you, I can't wait to get this on my blog tomorrow and see what other people think about it. And yeah, and I would love to see you guys. Hey, I could send you my address and you could mail me a card. Tell me what you think about me. I'm just kidding. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I hope you have a great day and happy stamping. Wasn't that the cutest card? I loved it. So I hope you did too. If you are interested in making one of these yourself, you can hop over to my blog, www.TxStampin.com. I will have this video again over there, and I will also have the downloadable PDF set of instructions that you can print off and have fun. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you.